talked about lobbying. Can you tell us or can you publish how many conversations you have had with pro-Palestinian voices and pro-Israeli voices being lobbied by both sides?
I don't know what I'll have to come back to you on what we publish. I can tell you I'm talking to people on every angle of this conflict on a very regular basis.
So at Bloomsburg on Sunday, there was a very one-sided interview with Mike Huckabee, and he was stating as fact there's loads of food in Gaza. Every aid agency on the ground is saying otherwise. But there was no challenge to that. There was no person from the UN or from Oxfam or wherever. And it feels, I don't know, the only voice ever you see is Hussam Zomlot. I don't think he's been on that show for about a year.
I think if you looked at our coverage of the UN, we've been absolutely clear on giving that voice. I mean, honestly, in this conflict, we're not perfect. We analyse those things, but the incoming we're getting on both sides, I could show you, is absolutely that we're giving far too much voice to those people on whether it be the UN on one side or Israeli voices on the other.
Yes, in some respects, it's not an election. I think you're treating it as something that...
with respect, I'm not saying...
So we know...
I'm not saying
we know Zippy Hotovely, we know certain people, Mark Regev, they're often on these shows. The other side, we don't even... The pro-Palestinian voices, I don't think we do have those. I can't picture some of the people you hear on the Today programme.
I absolutely take your point and agree on what I'd call on equalisation, which is you've done 10 minutes here, you've done 10 minutes. I think frankly, our journalists are better than that. Our editors are better than that. They're thinking about the conflict in the round. I would take your concerns. I think absolutely we are trying to give all voices. And I have to say, when people arrive on the BBC, and we may talk about this another, I think there's a cultural phenomenon that is you're giving voice to people. This is important that we get people on the BBC and we interrogate them and we journalistically, these are not people coming in for a free ride, they're getting properly questioned.
In the Centre for Media Monitoring's report, they sort of painstakingly analysed, and I think they've got some statistics of a Palestinian death is not worth the same as an Israeli death and all that. I think it and even the fact that there's always qualification. I mean, nobody says Netanyahu who is accused of war crimes in the same way as. Do you see what I mean? That it feels like it's. And for example, the ICC was not covered by yourselves. I think you said the post office was more important that day, but those kind of things are just absent from your channels.
I don't believe they're absent, but I do recognise the concern. Now, I've met the Centre for Media Monitoring. They do a lot of good work. We have a constructive dialogue with them. I think I don't know whether have you read the Assassin report on the other side? Assassin, yeah. Sorry, Assassin report, which is from the other side in terms of from a more pro-Israeli mindset in terms of analysing our output. Both reports use AI, okay? So I do think, look, I'll look at the data, but there are some methodological issues around just using AI because it's contextual. You need to look at how the reporting was done. It doesn't include live output. Having said that, I've sat with, and quite rightly, I'm very interested in hearing from the Centre for Media Monitoring, reflecting on some of their feedback, and areas like giving broader context to the conflict. I absolutely think we can be doing more work. So, look, we're engaged in dialogue with those parties, and absolutely we should be listening.
Okay, just